All right, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to our weekly broadcast here at Airhockey Live 360. Brought to you this week by the I-45 Bingo Hall located here in Houston, Texas, as well as Houston's own Old Humble Distilleries, also located obviously in the Old Humble Church in Humble, Texas as well. We have got a match just wrapping up as we are joining things in progress between Jacob Wiseman and Tyler Gibson. I will try and get you a result for that as soon as humanly possible. Merry Christmas out there to everybody from us here at Airhockey Live 360. My name is Jay Lippincott, and I will be joined shortly by our good friend Charles Ray. He's out working out the last few little technical details for tonight's broadcast, and he will be joining me here very shortly. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, the Airhockey Live 360 Weekly, we host it here at the 7-6 Air Hockey Club, located at 2808 Milam in the beautiful Midtown area of Houston, Texas. This has been our home now for just over a month, and it has been a wonderful transition for those of you who play with us, or who have played with us over at the Robin Hood House for the last decade or so. Wonderful new facilities over here in the Mekong Center. Please come out and join us again. It's 2808 Milam. All of our weekly tournaments are open to the public. First-timers are free. Any subsequent visit, all we ask for is a small $5 donation that goes towards the prize pool and general upkeep of the club. Looks like we got another match starting here. This one is going to be between the old legend Phil Arnold and this week's birthday girl, Georgia Lippincott, coming on at the featured table. This should really be a good one. Phil Arnold, a former world champion, and Georgia Lippincott, a former women's champion. Should be lots of fireworks as we get to see our first full match. As things get together for our first full match, a little rundown on the rules for the first-timers. Each match consists of 3 games. Each game is the first person to 7 points. You only have to win by 1. First person to win 2 games wins the match, and they move on. The 7-6 Weekly is a double elimination format, so your first defeat of the evening does not send you to an early grave. It just sends you over to the elimination side of things. Second loss, and then you will be packing your bags. The 7-6 Weekly tournament is also a handicapped event as well. So for you first-timers out there, if you do find yourself at a table against a former world champion or a women's champion, like you're about to see, do not fret. I assure you, you will get a 5-point head start in each of our games. So you will only have to score 2 before the Super Pro embarrasses you and scores a quick 7. While we are finishing things up, our friend Charles Ray is about to sit down and join me, so we are going to turn it over to him.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Charles Ray here, stepping in here momentarily for our good friend Jay Lippincott. It's been so kind to get us acclimated to the game and warm us up for the action this evening. We welcome you in, first-timers and vets alike. Getting ready for some good Friday night air hockey action here this evening. All right, we're looking here. Oh, okay. We have a game getting ready to kick off here between Miss Lippincott and Mr. Arnold. Phil, the master. It looks like Georgia's getting 3 points to start here. And we're off and going. And now it's 3-1 as Phil gets on the board rather quickly there. We're going to try to fix this graphic for you all, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with us here. All right, I'm going to try to get you caught back up here now that we've got the graphic together. Apologize for the delay. As Jay was informing us earlier, we are kind of jumping in here in the middle of the action. You can follow along live on Brackalope. The new search string for the 7-6 tournaments on Friday night is you just pop in the 7-6, and it should come right on up to the live tournament going on that evening. All right, looks like we're getting a little timeout here, a little showmanship from our good buddy Phil, stretching it out, getting loose here. All right, game's back in. A little probing action from Phil. He's trying to see a weakness in Georgia's defense. And you can see that Phil has a little bit of a reach advantage across the table, but George is a savvy vet herself. She'll be looking to take advantage of any weaknesses Phil shows. As he scores on himself there. It looks like it's 5-1 now, actually. I missed the point in between. Okay, I think I just heard 5-3. Yeah, so it is 5-3 currently. Georgia's with a nice little 2-point lead. But Phil is storming back here. Definitely going to make it interesting. Phil cedes control of the puck there. Oh, and Georgia misses a great opportunity there. And Phil makes her pay on the other side. It's like the same analogy that you find in basketball a lot of times. Turnover, right? One turnover follows another. And in air hockey, it's no different. Oh, and the puck has flown off the table. Looks like a little bit of extra contact there to Georgia's hand. I hope she's all right there. Got a little timeout here as well. We're expanding the program, well, not the programming, but and Georgia gets the first game there. She takes the first game 7-5 over Phil. While we reset here, I get an opportunity to tell you that we will be expanding our production a little bit here to give you a little more insight into the games with more angles that we can show you, because it looks different from different angles. So we'll be experimenting and rolling that out here through the night as we've gotten a few more camera angles to share with you all. All right, we're off and running on game 2. And Phil gets out a quick natural off on Georgia there. Makes the score 3-1. Georgia's slowing it down a little bit here. That may be more to Phil's advantage, though, because it seems like he can see the shot coming when it's a little slower action. And Georgia's not helping herself there by helping Phil. She's got to be careful about giving away points. Ooh, she almost slid one by him, but it didn't quite make. Oh, Phil ties up the game rather quickly. He's on a mission here to get back even. Looks like we got a little bit of a timeout here. Let's check some of the action on some of the other tables here. We got a couple of youngins going at it here on table 2. As you can see, it's a sport for all ages and everyone's having fun with it. All right, this is another angle from the main table as promised. All right, we got, oh, look at that shot. Phil right down the center lane there. Back on the main camera here. Yeah, Georgia looks to be on the attack now. But Phil playing some pretty good defense, and he's playing it out front too. That means he can see the shot coming well before it lands. Uh-oh. Phil was leaning there. Georgia missed another opportunity to kind of strike at him. Very clever there from Phil. Easing off the puck so he didn't score an own goal. And he shoots her straight again. Oh, Georgia's having a hard time with that forehand shot this evening. It's been scoring over and over. Phil slowing the game to probe a little bit. You can see him trying to take advantage of that forearm because it's been working for him. And then they call another timeout. So we're having a little brief timeout here. And then it's back in. And Georgia with a far rail shot there that goes in. It looks like he's got 3 up for Georgia, but I thought she was getting 3 points. Maybe they changed it this game. We'll kind of follow that closely. Looks like Phil's got point match. Oh, he gave one away. Look at that. Look at Phil, ever the sportsman. He tried a couple of forehands. Obviously, they didn't work. And now he's trying to be a little more creative with it. But he comes back to the forehand and he scores the game. Ties it up 1 match apiece. They'll play one more, ladies and gentlemen. A tiebreaker, rubber match, if you will. All right, looks like we're about to kick off this third and final game of this match. Let's see how the point spread is here. It should be a 3-0 start for Georgia. A lot of deliberate strikes here, it looks like, from Phil. Again, coming out kind kind of poking and prodding, looking for that weakness, and there it is. Did not take him too long to find it. Phil still going in at Georgia, still trying to find some weakness there. Actions kind of seem to have slowed here. You can tell there are a lot more thoughtful players looking with their probing, trying to find a way to get by, as Phil does on cue. One of the young ones lost a puck. All right, came back in. Phil really waiting to the last minute there to try to strike. Georgia's not having much luck penetrating his defenses. Not since that first game. So it looks like Phil is trying to get her to react so he can score off the reaction. Seems like Georgia's on to that, so she steadied her hand and her puck a little bit. And Georgia finally gets one by Phil. Makes the score. And he gets her right back. I didn't even get a chance to talk about that score as fast as Phil turned around and put one back on her. You know, Phil is such a savant at this. He's constantly trying out new things, always looking for a new edge, a new angle. But it's all in fun. He's always having fun. He's like a kid in a lab experimenting. As Georgia gets another one by him there. We'll have to see Phil turn it on to rally if he's trying to win this game. All right, Georgia seems to have found her stride. She's up 6-3 now. Putting Phil in a serious hole now where he's going to have to rally to win. We'll see if the referee's score agrees with mine. I have Georgia at point, but it looks like the referee has Georgia at 5. So we'll see. We'll see exactly what the score is here on the next go. All right, Phil got one by Georgia there. Still does seem like he's got 5-4 instead of 6-4 like I had, but we'll see. Oh, it's tied at 5, so it really was 5. Okay. So I'm guessing Georgia must have only got 2 points and not 3 like I thought. Phil gets one by her to get the point game on. It's going to be really important for Georgia to focus here if she wants to tie this up and send it to sudden death. You can tell that Phil grasps the depth of the moment here. He's very relaxed and focused in. Ooh, that was almost very clever. A little misdirection with the feint and then the strike there from Phil. That's very nice puck work. But Georgia has forced sudden death. Next point wins. Let's see if Phil pulls something out of his bag of tricks for this last point. Georgia was going for it there. She probably should try to throw a little bit of Phil's own medicine back at him. Oh, and the puck has left the table. Everybody's reaching. That's when the action gets very exciting. There.
And Phil Arnold with the victory in that last match, folks. Finishing off Georgia Lippincott 7-6 in that final go. We are going to cut away for just a moment. My name is Jay, and our good friend Charlie Ray we will both be right back with some Fast and Furious Friday night air hockey action coming at you live from the 7-6 Air Hockey Club right here in Houston, Texas.
I'm thinking about this woman in Colorado that I really like. You know, I'm thinking about explaining to her first that to me you're like an air hockey table.
I like fighting to the death on the table, you know, like a gladiator.
This guy hit the throat.
And we are back, folks. This is going to be a wonderful match coming up between Tony Marino and former three-time world champion Jacob Wiseman. Gonna be fast and furious. Both these players play at a very high level. Sorry about that, folks. I'm just trying to get everything caught up here. Like I was just telling you, Marino has made 4 championship tables in the last 6 weeks, I believe. Has been defeated by his son in 3 of those appearances and came away victorious with 1. So Tony Marino on quite the run over the last month and a half. And as everybody who watches the Airhockey Live Weekly broadcast, they know what a force to be reckoned with Jacob Wiseman is. Plays at a very fast pace, lots of power behind all of his shots. Killer Deadeye style accuracy. But Marino absolutely capable of coming away with the victory here. But right now looks like he's trailing in game number 1, 4-1 to Jacob Wiseman. Marino showing lots of emotion on that last attempt, unable to keep the puck on the table and in play. While we have them, folks, give you a couple of views of our Air Hockey Club in progress. It is a 5-table beauty, now able to bring you 3 different live camera views of our championship table and a nice little shot of table 4 as well, where we've got a match going between a couple of our youngsters. Another member of the Marino family, I believe, but we are going to get back to the action between Jacob Wiseman and Anthony Marino. Wiseman comes dangerously close to a center line violation, but our official Phil Arnold lets it go. And Anthony Marino unable to capitalize on that last possession. A little bit of circle drift work at quarter table takes the attempt, but Wiseman with a strong counter, now ahead big 5-3. Again, folks, Charles Ray and I, for the last 2 or 3 weeks, have been teasing a big announcement with regards to the 2020 World Championships. Oh, I'm sorry. That just now gets Jacob Wiseman to 5-3 over Tony Marino. And Marino now with the possession on the offensive side of things. Tries the left rail under, shut down by Wiseman. Wiseman turns it around, counters, and now sitting on game point number 1 with the 6-3 lead. Marino going to the diamond drift pattern, and that doesn't work either. Jacob Wiseman closes out game number 1, 7-3 over Anthony Marino. We are going to switch sides, reset, and do it again. This is an unhandicapped match. Anthony Marino, I believe, was entitled to a point or 2 here if he would have liked them, but I think he waived his handicap. There's that speed from Wiseman I was talking about, folks. Just blinding drift work right at mid-table, and then a very fast and powerful shot. Coming strong down left center of the table, and Tony Marino just did not have an answer defensively. Could not get a mallet on the puck, and Wiseman scores in a blink of an eye. Quickly up 1-0. Marino with a valiant defensive effort here early, Here's Jacob Wiseman just peppering the scoring zone with attempts. Puck's moving so fast, we're having trouble keeping up with it from our different camera angles right now. See if we can give you a look at what Anthony Marino is seeing from his view from his side of the table. I believe we're all tied up at 1 as Anthony Marino was able to finally sneak one by Wiseman in game number 2. And another good shot from Tony Marino. Moves ahead of Wiseman 2-1. Wiseman quickly evens it up, and now the players just trading attempts and scoring opportunities, and just like that, Marino back up 3-2. Another blinding effort there from Jacob Wiseman that Anthony Marino had no answer for. Tony Marino trying to widen a lead here on Wiseman, but Wiseman just not letting him get away.
It's a very good matchup that we have here between two wily and cagey vets. Loving these new camera angles. They're great.
Man, they're tons of fun. We were just going through all of them with our viewers. While we got a second here and a break in the action, another quick shout out to our sponsors at the I-45 Bingo Hall, Old Humble Distilleries, and I'm sorry we forgot them in the opening montage. But as always, where'sthegig.com.
Where's the gig?
Yeah, man, if you're a musician, it's always the question, where's the gig? Where'sthegig.com.
Dude, where's the gig?
Musician's best friend when it comes to scheduling your bandmates. If you need substitutions, everything right there for you in app form. Make sure you get to where'sthegig.com and check it out. Anthony Marino restarts quickly after giving the puck a quick massage on the sandpaper. And we are still all knotted up at 3 points apiece. Look at Jacob Wiseman with the mallet work to keep the puck on the table and absolutely capitalizes on that opportunity. Beautiful left ball under. But as soon as I'm done talking about it, Anthony Marino knocks us up again. We are all tied up at 4 points apiece.
As predicted, this has been a much more fast-paced game than the one that we saw previous between Georgia and Phil, which I said was going to be a lot more dutiful match between the two, a lot of probing. These two are attacking. They are definitely on the attack.
Absolutely. Neither of these players really concerned with the defensive side. In game number 1, it just looked like a race to 7 points. Marino having the better defensive effort right now, but it really seems to me because the puck staying on Jacob Wiseman's side of the table. Wiseman hasn't needed much defense in this one as his scoring opportunities happen quickly and powerfully, just like that. Right down the middle, and Marino couldn't even get a mallet on it.
They're definitely taking advantage of the eye as, getting you looking left, and then bam, they strike right.
Yeah, we've seen Jacob take different strategies like that in the past, getting his opponent to lean one way or the other and catching them by going the opposite way. But he's not doing that in this match with Marino. This has just been speed and power, throwing everything he's got at Marino's side of the table and saying, here you go, stop it if you can.
And so far, it's been a shootout.
We are all knotted up at 6. Somewhere Marino got a point there and got to 6 points first.
And there is the victory.
And Anthony Marino and Jacob Wiseman gonna take it to a third and deciding game here in the winner's bracket. I believe semifinals. We are already 2 on the winner's bracket side of things. Yes, the winner of this moves on to face Phil Arnold in the winner's bracket final So we are only 2 steps away from having the first competitor at our championship table. Looking like we still have, I believe, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 competitors left. And the way I know that is I just took a look at it on brackelope.com. If you'd like to follow along, go to the website www.brackelope.com. And in the search engine, type in the number 7, a hyphen, and 6, just like the 7-6 Air Hockey Club. 7-6, and the weekly tournament results will be the first result shows up on the page. Click on that, you can follow the brackets along live with Charles, Ray, and myself. Game number 3 going just like game number 2, just a quick exchange of points, and in the blink of an eye, we are at 1-1. Again, lots of new viewers out there. We know to the sport of air hockey. It moves very fast. Again, so quickly, we have trouble keeping up with the score as well sometimes. That usually happens when there is a beautiful scoring attempt. We talk about it, and by the time we're done talking about that, these 2 competitors especially could have rattled off 3 more points on each side of the table. And we miss all of them because, and probably missed an even better shot attempt as well. But that's just how it goes. Sometimes this sport is beautiful, it is fast, and it is fun for all ages. Nice shot from Marino. Caught Weissman leaning out towards center line and snuck a hard one straight down the middle. Weissman didn't have a chance.
We call that the one-timer. You gave him the one time.
And as we were saying, it's nothing new about a one-time, folks. Another time, just then, Marino scores on the left rail under, and Weissman with an answer. We're back to trading points, and this time Marino's got a 2-point cushion as this exchange is going on. Lots of work from both players, high towards the center of the table. Don't see that a lot from the younger, less experienced players. These players just kind of seem to have a natural instinct for where the puck's going to be when their opponent shoots. A lot of it's familiarity. Most of it is experience and skill. Marino out to a huge 5-2, now 5-3 lead on the former world champion.
Marino's doing wise to stay on the attack. He's making it really difficult for Weissman to breathe.
And yeah, Marino now on match point. Weissman going to have to score 4 unanswered here to move on and avoid a trip to the elimination bracket.
And unfortunately for him, he was unable to do that.
It is not to be. Weissman cannot snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. And Anthony Marino Sr. moving on to the winners bracket final to face the legend Phil Arnold, while Jacob Weissman moves over into the elimination bracket side of things. He will face off against the winner of the Joanne Marino and Sarah Weissman match that will be starting shortly. We've had lots of family final tables between the Weissmans and the Marinos over the last couple of weeks. The weeks where a Marino hasn't won, a Weissman has, so the trend seems to be continuing. All of these players gearing up and practicing for the World Championships coming up here in just a couple months here in Houston, Texas. Folks, we are going to cut away for just a moment while we have a lull in the action. We will be back right after this.
I'm thinking about this woman in Colorado that I really like. I'm thinking about explaining to her first that to me you're like an air hockey table.
I like fighting to the death on the table, like a gladiator.
This guy hit the through.
I fell in love with air hockey in June of 1973. I picked up the mallet, no glove, didn't know anything about it, won 18 games in a row. There was so much energy going through my body of air hockey greatness that my arm just, it was too much.
These people are more intense than that.
What do you think, honey, of the air hockey crowd?
I won't say anything.
There's a lot of individuals in air hockey. They have unique interests and they're not a real mainstream. Men, traditionally competitive, typically not in relationships with women, kind of loners, kind of in love with the table and maybe married to the table, I don't know.
I used to play air hockey every day. I'd play 30, 40 games a day. I would just play air hockey. That's what I like to do.
That's ridiculous.
Mark feels like he has to make sure that air hockey's not going to die, to make sure that when he is dead, air hockey will continue living.
I think the extinction of air hockey is a very real concern.
The arcades are virtually extinct these days.
Unless somebody is able to come in and do some really radical marketing, it may not be around.
We have wives, we have jobs, we have things that we can spend our money on rather than coming to Vegas to play air hockey. So there's definitely something about air hockey that's keeping us going.
We're really starting to reach out and connect the fan base to the sponsor base to the player base.
Oh, you got 500! Like to win 16-3! 4 Unbelievable!
The moment of playing air hockey, there is no misery. You're playing air hockey.
Why they have jump rope and things like that on ESPN and not air hockey, it's kind of beyond me.
All right, and there you have it. Sarah Wiseman just defeating her brother. Jacob heads up in a thrilling third game. We brought you that match entirely in its entirety as just the action, and it was worth every moment of it. Jacob is having a really rough night here on the table. See, he's trying to get in a little practice time here. Looks like we're in between games, ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to take a look at what's going on at one of the outer tables. Let's see what's on. Oh, that's the same camera, as is that one. Nothing really. Okay, we got a couple of youngins here on table 2, which is where I should have gone to start with. Not really sure what this game's score is, but they seem to be having a good time, so. I think one of them said 5-1. Back to the main table here. We'll try to figure out what the next game coming up is for you all here. This could be the winners final coming up here with Phil Arnold and Anthony Marino. We'll see if that's the case. All right, we're going to take advantage of the time to make a little quick timeout here. Stay tuned.
I'm thinking about this woman in Colorado that I really like. You know, I'm thinking about explaining to her first that to me, you're like an air hockey table.
I like fighting to the death on the table, you know, like a gladiator.
This guy hit the throat.
I fell in love with air hockey in June of 1973. I picked up the mallet, no glove, didn't know anything about it, won 18 games in a row. There was so much energy going through my body of air hockey greatness that my arm just, it was too much.
These people are more intense than that.
What do you think, honey, of the air hockey crowd?
I won't say anything.
There's a lot of individuals in air hockey. They have unique interests and they're not a real mainstream. Men, traditionally competitive, typically not in relationships with women, kind of loners, kind of in love with the table and maybe married to the table, I don't know.
I used to play air hockey every day. I'd play 30, 40 games a day. I would just play air hockey. That's what I like to do.
That's ridiculous.
Mark feels like he has to make sure that air hockey's not going to die, to make sure that when he is dead, air hockey will continue living.
I think the extinction of air hockey is a very real concern.
The arcades are virtually extinct these days.
Unless somebody is able to come in and do some really radical marketing, it may not be around.
We have wives, we have jobs, we have things that we can spend our money on rather than coming to Vegas to play air hockey. So there's definitely something about air hockey that's keeping us going.
We're really starting to reach out and connect the fan base to the sponsor base to the player base.
Oh, you got 500! Like to win 16-3! 4-0! Unbelievable!
The
moment of playing air hockey, there is no misery. Playing air hockey.
Why they have jump rope and things like that on ESPN and not air hockey, it's kind of beyond me.
My name is Brian Acrocco. I'm the President and CEO of United Air Hockey Promotions. I have been running air hockey tournaments for about 15 years now, and I manage them here at SRO in Houston. Most new players, when they step up for the first time, they're quite surprised at the quality of skill that we have at the sport. Most people out that have not seen professional air hockey don't realize how advanced it actually is.
All right, folks, we are back, and this is going to be another good one. We have got... Oh... Folks, stand by. We will be right back. Hey, the camera's glitching.
It's the dude.
All right, guys. Sorry, we're having to deal with some late inning technical difficulties. Hopefully, you can hear me again. We have got an upset in the making right now. Little William Weissman knocking off his sister Sarah in the elimination bracket semifinal to get to this point, facing off against Phil Arnold. Weissman does get a 5-point head start in each of these games, but he has steamrolled his way and is now just one step away from a championship appearance. We are all tied up at a game apiece right now. Weissman winning game number 1 and Phil Arnold winning game number 2. So here we are for all the marbles. Winner of this moves to the championship table to face off against Anthony Marino. And our loser will be done with a very, very respectable third place finish. Again, earlier on we were talking about how this event is geared towards players of all ages and skill levels, and this right here just goes to show you how far the point spot or handicap advantage can get you in our Friday night tournament. Now, granted, William Weissman does come from air hockey royalty and has the ability to practice with former world champions a lot more often than the rest of us would, but again, this no small feat from the youngster. Making a really deep run and now just 1 point away from his first ever championship table. Phil Arnold getting very selective with his shot options now. Can't afford to make a mistake, and Weissman here with an opportunity to close it out. Looked for an opportunity off the left rail, but Arnold shuts him down. Weissman goes right back to that well, and Phil Arnold snaps the bucket away once again. It's been a fun night here at the 7-6 Air Hockey Club. Lots of fast and furious air hockey action. As always, thanks to everybody for joining us. And thanks to all of our sponsors at where'sthegig.com, the I-45 Bingo Hall, and Old Humble Distilling Company. And there it is, folks. William Weissman with the victory over Phil Arnold, and will move on to face Anthony Marino in the weekly championship game here at the 7-6 Air Hockey Club. Folks, we are going to step away for 1 minute. We're having another small technical issue, but we will be right back with our championship finals. All right, ladies and germs, we are back, and this is it. Air Hockey Live 360, our weekly final, coming at you from the 7-6 Air Hockey Club here in Houston, Texas. Quite the upset this evening. Little William Weissman, a level 1 player all the way through to the championship, about to face off against the very skilled and savvy Anthony Marino. This marks our 3rd week in no, more than that. We're talking 6 out of the last 7 weeks at this point, with just a minor interruption by Jacob Munoz a couple weeks ago, that a Weissman or a Marino is going to walk away with the 7-6 weekly championship. A pretty impressive feat from those families, but both those families, especially the Weissmans, could be almost considered royalty. In the air hockey community. Folks, got more incentive for you to make it out with us next Friday. My friend Charles Ray and I, we have been teasing a large announcement. Unfortunately, we are still unable to release the news on the air. But if you make your way out here in person next Friday, ask us about the big news. We will be absolutely happy to tell you. We can tell you in person. We just can't tell you on the airwaves. Here it goes, folks. A David versus Goliath matchup.
Absolutely.
About to kick off with our ringmaster, Phil Arnold, officiating the festivities. This could be a good one. Weissman going to get his 5-point head start. But the great equalizer might be he's going to have to win 4 games here, sir. Do you think he can pull it off?
Yeah, that's going to be a tall order for anybody trying to win 4 games against Mr. Anthony Marino here. He's one tough hombre, as they say.
And he's got a stretch of championship table appearances. I believe now his streak is 4 weeks in a row. And he may have a chance to win this week because he's not playing his son. Anthony Jr. Getting the best of Dad now, I believe, three out of three.
The last 4 times, 3 of the last 4 times we saw them, yeah.
And that 4th week where Anthony Sr. Made the championship table, Jacob Munoz made pretty quick work of him. And Marino has started the climb up Mount Victory with point number 1, cutting the deficit to 4. Just watching the last couple matches with Weissman, he likes to work that left rail pretty hard. I bet Anthony Marino's been paying attention to that as well.
Yeah, I would imagine he's been really watching this kid as he's managed to knock off player after player and kind of see how he was getting it done.
Again, you get to work out with a brother, sister, and father who all have a Weissman last name. You're going to come out at a young age at a marked advantage over the competition. Anthony Marino off to a really nice offensive run here, chipping away at the early deficit, and now it's been cut to 1 on a mistake on Weissman's side of the table.
Yeah, the youth of inexperience is kind of rearing its head here a little bit, right?
A little bit. The kid's a little bit excited coming off that big win over Big Sis in the last round. You know, at that age, the mindset's just not there. You got to keep your focus on the task at hand, or something like this can happen. A seasoned vet like Marino is just going to make quick work of you. And there it is, 7 unanswered from Anthony Marino. Almost feel bad for the kid after that game, after game 1.
You know, Anthony's not messing around. He came to win, and he's definitely defending the family name.
Yeah, absolutely. His son did take this last week, and like I said, hey, Anthony Jr. not here. Anthony Sr. seizing on the opportunity to claim his first victory here at the 7-6. It's a beautiful thing about the sport of air hockey, and the reason we do promote this to all ages and want everyone out here. This is how our sport's going to grow. Getting youngsters like young William out here, and my son Austin, 16, played out here. Jacob Munoz, an under 20 youngster, winning the 25 and under championship a couple weekends ago, and as we've talked about frequently, last year's most improved player.
And again, Anthony's showing that poise that separates the vets from the young ones, right? And he's
really focusing on the defensive side of the table. He understands that possessions are key in a 5-0 hole. He can afford to make a couple of mistakes on shots, but that's what he couldn't afford. You really, when you're playing from 5 points behind, you really are hoping to get at least 4 unanswered before you get off one, before your opponent gets one off. And Weissman now just a point away from tying the championship table's first match at 1.
And there it is.
And there it is again, hard off that left side. He really works that left rail under hard, and you can tell he's practiced it. Getting a little advice from the big sis right there. Marino, I believe, going to have possession here at the start of game number 3. So Weissman is playing to extend the championship table to a second full match. If Marino can make the comeback here from 5 points down, we are going to be calling it a night. While things are getting started, one last shout out to our sponsors. First and foremost, our oldest and most loyal sponsors at the I-45 Bingo Hall. They have games that started tonight at 10:30, about an hour ago. You'd still work your way up there to the corner 45 North and 1960. Guaranteed $10,000 in cash and prizes every day. So make sure you make your way up there. It should be a good time. Also, musician's best friend, where'sthegig.com. Schedule all your events. Get with your venues, get with your bandmates. Never miss a gig again. Again, where'sthegig.com, a musician's best friend. And our newest and my favorite sponsor, Old Humble Distilleries, again located here in the Houston area. Beautiful, beautiful whiskeys coming out of this distillery, folks.
Smooth
whiskey. Very nice of them to gift us a case of their product. Charles and I have enjoyed it
immensely
over a few nights here in our booth. Big shout out to them again. Marino needs to get 3 here before young Weissman gets 1, or we're going to reset and do a full second match. This is the situation I was talking about. I feel if you can get to 4 before your opponent gets to 6, it really gives you the best chance. Scoring 3 unanswered against an inexperienced player really cuts the luck factor out of it.
Yeah, that forehand seems to be winning for the more pro, the vets. They're getting that forehand in to score about at will all night long, whereas some more of your less seasoned players are still using off-rail shots. They rely more on the off-rail shots, I should say, than. Youth is served as I speak about that straight shot. It's a killer.
Again, young Weissman, not your normal noob that we're accustomed to seeing here at our weekly championships. Pretty well seasoned player. Don't know if he really needs the full 5 points coming in at a young age. Most kids are going to need it. Weissman obviously riding that 5-point head start all the way to the championship table, so good on him. But his shot's a lot crisper, a lot more accurate, and obviously has the basics of the game down pat already. So not the usual youngsters we see, like you were saying, Charles, just flailing it, multi-rails, just wanting to see the puck move fast and not worried about accuracy. This kid's got a good a good support system, obviously, to get him started, and obviously has the basic skills already to go very far as he gets older and gains some of the savvy of his father, his brother, and his sister.
I'm going to take this lull opportunity to give a shout out to the Houston Rockets, off to a pretty good start this season.
Man, big victory last night over the Los Angeles Clippers.
Big time.
Big time win by the guys. I believe Westbrook had 40 last night.
Yes, he did. He led the comeback from 19 down at halftime.
Yeah, the first half of that game was kind of disappointing. We looked a little bit flat. Harden just chucking it up from everywhere, doing what Harden does. And on nights when all of those are going in, he scores 60. On a night when he only scores, 15, 20, that's great. He contributes. But, you always forget about the 25, 30 shots that didn't go in.
Yeah, well, not everybody forgets about that. He gets killed a lot for for his shot selection, and sometimes rightfully so. But generally speaking, that he's the engine that makes that whole thing go. So
yeah, and Westbrook knew that coming in. He knew he was moving from first chair to second fiddle, if you will. But I think he was okay with it. He knew he was still going to get his opportunities. And Harden, from what I've seen early on, has been really good on the nights where he's just not feeling it. Those seem to be the nights where Russell Westbrook really shines, and Harden's taking advantage of it. Absolutely,
sure.
having a guy like that.
Yeah. He needs a Robin to his Batman. So
that's absolutely right. And in this, it's almost like when Captain America and Iron Man made nice.
It does have a little bit of that feel, doesn't it?
That feel, just all right. We don't get along on a personal level. We both know we're great, but for us to go out and do this, we're going to have to get along and make sure all of our best qualities shine through. Especially, the down year the Warriors are having with all the injuries. Championship is wide open. Lots of people talking about the Lakers, but I caught the end of that game and saw some of the highlights, and man, it looked like they laid a big fat egg last night. Just one more comment on last night's basketball game. I like the Kings' new look, or not the Kings, the Clippers. I like the new black and white look from the LA Clippers. Got a lot more edge to it. The cursive is nice, but it's almost like the nerdy band geek against, the quarterback of the football team or the hardcore gangster. I mean, who do you want to go to battle with?
Right. And it's interesting over there in La La Land right now with the Clippers on one side and the Lakers on the other. That rivalry is really starting to heat up. It's really got some teeth now that, the teams seem to be staring at each other from equal playing field.
Well, the catalyst of that whole deal coming from Paul George and all of the effort that LeBron and the Lakers put into trying to get him to LA. Paul George, he made it to LA all right. He's even playing in the same building. Unfortunately, he's in that other locker room across the hall, and a lot of feelings were hurt.
Well, I think the league is better for it. It seems like the era of the super stack super teams might be done, and little Wiseman,
he is just steamrolling through this right now. A little bit of confidence and cockiness showing through, and I like it. If you're going to win, kid, especially against a competitor like Anthony, show it to him a little bit.
Right, he gets this Duke here, and it's good night Irene for him, right?
And this is a whole different ballgame now.
Yes.
Marino doesn't have a match that he can lose anymore. Both these players now with a match loss, so this is going to do it. And little Weissman winning game number 1.
And comes out firing.
Just like that, we are at a match point on the first attempt by the little man. Unreal. We haven't done this in a long time, but if this kid finishes off this upset, we are going to bring him back here for a quick interview.
Yeah, we'll have to do that.
Yeah, we absolutely haven't made that happen in a while, but we will make it happen tonight if he can complete this amazing run. We haven't had a level 1 full handicap player win one of these in quite a while. It does happen. It happens more often than you think, but we haven't had one in a couple of months, and we haven't had.
And there it is.
And that's going to do it. It's going to be William Wiseman knocking off Anthony Marino.
I'm going to go get him right now.
And Charles is going to go get the kid while we're still on the air because this doesn't happen very often. And I'm twisting myself up.
Yeah, interview time in the big studio.
Have a seat.
Come on, Killer, how you doing?
Okay. Hello.
Okay, you're going to put these on?
Go ahead and put those on so you can hear yourself. There's going to be a little bit of an echo, but I promise we're going to sound off. First off, good job, bud. Big victory. Tell me, what do you think?
Well, it was very, exhilarating because this is the first time I've ever actually played in the weeklies.
Yeah?
And I've been practicing a lot, and it's just I didn't really expect to win. Like when I walked in those doors, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna win, but I guess.
Hey kid, you looked good. We see a lot of youngsters out here. Obviously you've got big family support to help you out. Charles and I were talking, you looked a lot crisper than most rookies we see out here. So I see big things in your future. How old are you, kid?
11.
11. Big victory tonight, my man. Big victory. We just got one last question for you. You got to be completely honest. I haven't checked the feed tonight, so I don't know if Dad's watching, but sometimes he is. What was better, the championship or knocking off the sis?
Come on, don't be shy.
The championship. I was very excited.
Yeah.
Well, that is.
And I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sarah was very. She wasn't upset or anything that I won. She hugged me. And,
oh yeah, she was nothing but proud of you.
It was great. And it was enjoyable.
Well, and you got both the siblings here too. Jacob here. Jacob here at the end to see you win as well. Yep. Well, hey man, you go out there. I think, believe it or not, the youngster's got a little bit of cashola coming his way. Correct?
Yep.
Christmas time, always nice to have a little bit extra. Hey man, congratulations. Hope we see you out here more often. Great job, William. Thanks for spending some time with us. Get on out there, collect your money.
Yes, get your money.
All right, guys. Well, that's this week's champion, the youngster William Wiseman. There he is, heading back out to the table to catch some congratulations from the family and the other players. A really exciting night tonight, folks. Glad you all could join us. We've got to get things wrapped up. Our time here with you is done. Charles, you got anything to add tonight?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, folks, my name's Jay Lippincott for Charles Ray. Thanks again to all our sponsors. Thanks for tuning in again to our weekly championship from the 7-6. We will be back with you next Friday at 9:30 p.m. Until then, it was great spending some time with you. We are out of here.
Sweet.
Oh. All right.
Let's get those cameras down and roll the fuck out.
Yeah, I gotta plug all of these things back in. And somehow this wrapped around my leg.
You guys come practice anytime you want, 24 hours a day.